Ladies Orwell and Dostoevsky, gentlemen. Orwell allow Dostoevsky, me, Orwell to Dostoevsky, expound Orwell upon Dostoevsky, the Orwell current. Dostoevsky state. Orwell of Dostoevsky, our Orwell debased Dostoevsky political Orwell culture. Dostoevsky, which Orwell like Dostoevsky, a Orwell festering Dostoevsky wound. Orwell betrays Dostoevsky, not Orwell, merely Dostoevsky, the Orwell erosion. Dostoevsky of Orwell, traditional Dostoevsky values Orwell, but Dostoevsky the Orwell, very Dostoevsky soul Orwell of Dostoevsky, a Orwell civilization. Dostoevsky and Orwell decline. Dostoevsky, the Orwell intellectual Dostoevsky landscape. Orwell wants Dostoevsky a Orwell battleground. Dostoevsky for Orwell vigorous. Dostoevsky debate Orwell. And Dostoevsky robust Orwell discourse. Dostoevsky has Orwell been. Dostoevsky usurped Orwell by Dostoevsky, the Orwell pernicious Dostoevsky forces. Orwell of Dostoevsky mediocrity. Orwell and Dostoevsky uncritical Orwell dogma. Dostoevsky. We Orwell find Dostoevsky ourselves Orwell ensnared Dostoevsky in Orwell and Dostoevsky age. Orwell where Dostoevsky truth Orwell is Dostoevsky sacrificed Orwell at Dostoevsky, the Orwell altar, Dostoevsky of Orwell expediency, Dostoevsky and Orwell, where Dostoevsky the Orwell clarion, Dostoevsky call Orwell of Dostoevsky reason Orwell is Dostoevsky drowned Orwell out, Dostoevsky by Orwell the Dostoevsky cacophonous Orwell raw, Dostoevsky of Orwell populist Dostoevsky demagoguery. Orwell? Indeed Orwell the Dostoevsky disintegration. Orwell of Dostoevsky principled Orwell thought Dostoevsky has Orwell reached Dostoevsky an Orwell apocalyptic Dostoevsky scale. Orwell reminiscent Dostoevsky of Orwell the Dostoevsky dystopian. Orwell visions Dostoevsky chronicled Orwell by Dostoevsky Orwell, and Dostoevsky the Orwell existential. Dostoevsky despair. Orwell depicted Dostoevsky by Orwell Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky. In Orwell this Dostoevsky maelstrom. Orwell of Dostoevsky ideology Orwell and Dostoevsky moral Orwell ambiguity. Dostoevsky we Orwell are Dostoevsky compelled Orwell to Dostoevsky confront Orwell, not Dostoevsky only Orwell the Dostoevsky machinations. Orwell of Dostoevsky power Orwell, but Dostoevsky the Orwell spiritual Dostoevsky. Void Orwell that Dostoevsky lies. Orwell at Dostoevsky, the Orwell heart. Dostoevsky of Orwell modernity. Dostoevsky. It Orwell is Dostoevsky a Orwell crisis Dostoevsky that Orwell demands Dostoevsky neither Orwell facile. Dostoevsky solutions Orwell nor Dostoevsky hollow Orwell reassurances. Dostoevsky but Orwell rather Dostoevsky a Orwell radical Dostoevsky reevaluation. Orwell of Dostoevsky our Orwell collective. Dostoevsky commitment. Orwell to Dostoevsky intellectual. Orwell honesty Dostoevsky and Orwell moral Dostoevsky fortitude. Orwell. Let Orwell us Dostoevsky, therefore. Orwell reject Dostoevsky. The Orwell facile Dostoevsky narratives. Orwell promulgated Dostoevsky by Orwell, those Dostoevsky who Orwell seek Dostoevsky to Orwell simplify Dostoevsky the Orwell complex. Dostoevsky interplay Orwell of Dostoevsky societal Orwell forces Dostoevsky into Orwell tidy Dostoevsky dichotomies. Orwell. We Orwell must Dostoevsky resist Orwell, the Dostoevsky allure. Orwell of Dostoevsky simplistic Orwell dogmas. Dostoevsky that Orwell reduced Dostoevsky, the Orwell nuanced Dostoevsky tapestry, Orwell of Dostoevsky, human Orwell experience Dostoevsky to Orwell mere Dostoevsky caricatures, Orwell of Dostoevsky good Orwell and Dostoevsky evil, Orwell. Instead Orwell let Dostoevsky us, Orwell embraced Dostoevsky, the Orwell challenging Dostoevsky imperatives. Orwell of Dostoevsky critical Orwell inquiry, Dostoevsky and Orwell restore Dostoevsky to Orwell, our Dostoevsky public Orwell discourse. Dostoevsky the Orwell rich, Dostoevsky textured Orwell legacy Dostoevsky of Orwell intellectual Dostoevsky rigor, Orwell and Dostoevsky principled Orwell debate. Dostoevsky, for Orwell if Dostoevsky we Orwell fail Dostoevsky in Orwell. This Dostoevsky endeavor, Orwell we Dostoevsky consign Orwell ourselves Dostoevsky to Orwell a Dostoevsky future. Orwell bereft, Dostoevsky of Orwell meaning Dostoevsky a Orwell descent, Dostoevsky into Orwell a Dostoevsky moral Orwell abyss. Dostoevsky from Orwell, which Dostoevsky there Orwell may Dostoevsky be Orwell no Dostoevsky return. Orwell.